allegedly choke a woman in a now viral video.
Star was involved in the incident at a bar in Silver.
Welcome back, everybody. So when I wrote this and intended on recording it, the Oscars had just happened, and one event definitely happened. I'm not going to cover that. Not because it's not newsworthy, it's just when something becomes a meme, I don't think there's much I can add to it. Instead, luckily, I do have something for you, and that is the misadventures of the very problematic actor, Ezra Miller. So let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? Miller, who plays the role of Barry Allen, aka The Flash, in the current iteration of DC films, had his breakout role as Patrick in The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Later on, Miller cameoed as Barry Allen in the 2016 film Batman v Superman: The Dawn of Just Ice. Miller reprised his role in both the theatrical cut and Snyder cut of the Justice League. By the way, he was also in a very funny cameo of the season finale of Peacemaker. If that wasn't enough, Ezra has another big-ticket franchise with the Fantastic Beasts movies, where he plays Credence Barebone, apparently the secret Dumbledore. Now that we have a little bit of his filmography out of the way, let's get to the meat of the subject when it comes to Ezra Miller and his problematic behavior as of late. And when I say late, I'm actually meaning the past few years. Recently, Miller was arrested in Hilo, Hawaii for disorderly conduct and harassment after an incident at a Hilo bar. According to the local Hilo law enforcement agency, Miller, quote, became agitated while patrons at the bar began singing karaoke. Miller began yelling obscenities and at one point grabbed the microphone from a 23-year-old woman singing karaoke. That's the disorderly conduct. And after, lunged at a 32-year-old man playing darts. That would be the harassment. The bar owner asked Miller to calm down several times to no avail, end quote. To make matters worse, the day that I was writing this, I learned that Ezra Miller was issued a restraining order after allegedly threatening to bury a couple. According to the court document filed by the couple who wish to remain anonymous, Miller burst into their bedroom and said, quote, "I will bury you and your slut wife," end quote. Damn, Ezra. Now here's the kicker. The trio met at a Hilo farmer's market, and Ezra had been staying with the couple the prior 2 weeks before his arrest. The same couple are actually the ones that posted bail for Ezra when he was arrested. Now, the arrest and the restraining order would be one thing if it were an isolated incident. But Ezra has been showing signs of troubling behavior. In 2020, a video surfaced of Miller choking a woman and pushing her down to the ground in Reykjavik, Iceland. According to a Variety article on the matter, Miller then grabs the girl by the throat and throws her to the ground. At this point, the person filming says, "Whoa, bro," and stops shooting, with the video footage ending abruptly. Of course, there was a situation in 2017 at a Comic-Con when Miller forcefully planted a kiss on the lips of a fan who asked if he were drunk. Apparently, Miller referenced the Flash having a very high metabolism, and thus it would be damn near impossible for the Flash to get drunk. Now, I got to admit, I do applaud Miller's dedication to learning the source material, but still, maybe not the best thing to plan a smooch forcefully. As you can probably guess, what these incidents seem to have in common, or at least it really wouldn't surprise me if this wasn't involved, would be the heavy use of alcohol. Of course, Hollywood stars being on the wrong side of the law is nothing new for Tinseltown. The many alcohol-infused adventures of a Shia LaBeouf or Mel Gibson come to mind. But the normal actions of the studio is to distance themselves from the offending actor. In some cases, all it takes is either an old photo to surface or some ill-advised late-night tweeting while under medication to have somebody canceled in the entertainment industry. I normally would explain what being canceled is, but if you're watching my channel, I think you pretty much already know. Now, for the record, I don't believe in cancel culture in the slightest. I don't think people should be canceled for their views on COVID, the vaccine, their political affiliations, or religious beliefs, and who knows what else people get canceled for. But when it comes to things like sexual assault, or really anything where a victim is involved, then I don't mind the cancellation to somebody. And for better or worse, these are the days we live in. People get canceled. And as much as I feel that each situation needs to be handled based on its own accord, there seems to be no guidelines on who gets canceled for what. If you have watched a few of my videos, you know I don't have the highest opinion of Warner Brothers Studio. And most of it is, I'll admit, pretty petty Snyderverse stuff. But this is a great illustration of how this studio needs some sort of reform in their practices. Case in point, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Both have had their reputations nearly ruined by assault allegations on both sides, yet Depp was the one released from Fantastic Beasts 6 days after he lost a libel suit against the parent company of a British newspaper. Yet Amber Heard, who has also had assault allegations against her, continues to play the role of Mera in the Aquaman franchise. Now, in the Depp v. Heard situation, context does matter. Depp had lost a libel lawsuit against a British newspaper after they referred to him as a wife-beater. Now, I can completely understand Depp's need to clear his name, but so far, he's doing better in the court of public opinion rather than the court of law. Now, I say that as a trial is actually going on today. And as far as Amber Heard goes, well, she's just the worst. I mean, really, really the worst. I mean, allegedly the worst. Another instance that is different but more frustrating is their refusal to utilize Henry Cavill as Superman. Both Cavill and basically the overwhelming vast majority of fandom want to see Henry resume his performances as the Man of Steel. But as of yet, nothing has happened. And I think this is due to Warner Brothers just hating their fans. Now, I can't prove this, but to me, it's the only explanation that makes sense. Now that my Cavill rant is done, I'll get back to my main point, which is that people in Hollywood have been canceled or replaced for a lot less than what Ezra Miller has done lately. Now, I don't want to say that Ezra Miller has an issue with alcohol, since in reality, the only person that can answer that would be Ezra himself. But alcohol appears to be present in the bad situations he's been in. If alcohol abuse is the issue, then having a workplace that is free of consequence and accountability is not healthy. Now, the third Fantastic Beasts movie, The Secret of Dumbledore, as of time of recording, has already been released. Ezra is set to star in the much anticipated Flash movie. There is a bit of irony with the latter movie, since it is still rumored this will be a soft reset of the DC film timeline. Henry Cavill's Superman may be written off, and Ben Affleck's Batman will not be the Batman for future DC movies. Apparently the door is open for an eventual return, but that'll be down the road, if it happens at all. With the Potterverse movies, Miller is not the star of the film. Granted, he has a pretty big role, but he's still not the star. But The Flash, however, Ezra not only plays the titular character, but he also appears to play a variant version of Barry Allen. Recently, and unrelated to this event, since it was announced before Ezra's arrests, and it affected many other Warner Brothers movies, but the whole slate of Warner Brothers appeared to be pushed back, The Flash being one of them. Also, one thing the studio has in their favor is the fact that they are literally dealing with a multiverse. If they did desire to replace or write off Ezra Miller's Flash, they have the perfect means to do so. Though it's too bad they don't have an actor who's pretty familiar with playing Barry Allen under contract. Oh wait, they literally do have another Flash on the payroll with Grant Gustin. You know, in a way it would be kind of perfect, since they've established that both the TV and the movie versions of the characters coexist. This was actually done with a very entertaining scene in the CW Mega crossover event. By the way, it was confirmed that the DC EU Barry Allen adopts the name The Flash from the CW Flash, calling himself The Flash, or calling him The Flash. I can't remember. It's a little meta, but I love it. What can I say? One major advantage is not having to establish a backstory for Grant Gustin's Barry Allen, since most of the DC fans are pretty well familiar with his work on the TV show The Flash. Also, Grant is pretty darn squeaky clean. Not much scandal there, with the exception of getting caught vaping on a plane. I mean, it's not great, but it's definitely not bad. And lastly, the kid deserves it, quite frankly. But of course, those are just my opinions, and I would love to hear yours. Feel free to express yourself in my comment section. Give a like and a follow if you want to. And as always, fare thee well, my friends, and take care. Cue the music. Zoom!